Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making my giant figgy ham and cheese pie. And that's with my most flaky pie crust recipe ever that you can get on one of my videos. So the first thing I did was I took half my pie crust, rolled it out to a large, probably 13 to 14 inch diameter. Remember, this is a giant, and I have a 12-inch cake circle or a cake pan to use as a sort of a guide. I have preheated my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and now I'm going to trim around with a small sharp knife. All right, and you want your pastry to be nice and cold. If it's really too cold, make sure you leave it out for a few minutes, but not too long. All right, now I'm going to put this in half. Put this in quarters, and I'm going to bring it over to a pizza pan that I have lined with parchment paper. Okay? And you're just going to leave it out like that. Now I'm going to have my egg wash, which is just one large egg, which I've beaten with a fork, and I'm just going to do a little egg wash around, just around the outside. And I'm going to do that before I put any filling in, just so I can not disturb my filling once it's in there. Go right to the edges. It's going to be a giant pie. Great for a brunch, great for lunch, great for anything you have in mind. Now, you remember my beautiful onion fig jam. That's also on my YouTube channel, and I have a beautiful video on that. We're going to take about a cup of that, and I'm going to put it right in the middle and just spread it around. Do as much or as little as you want, but this is a dry jam, as it should be, because we really don't want to add. Remember, the key to a really nice pie that doesn't have a lot of mushiness or sogginess on the bottom is to keep the filling dry. All right. And I love this. I love serving this as an appetizer when guests arrive with a nice glass of wine. It's just delicious. I'm going to add a little more because I don't want to be skimpy with my figgy jam. And it's so easy to make. So many uses. All right, so once I have that, you can spread it out. I would leave a slight border because I'm going to crimp it. All right. Now I have some beautiful, very thinly sliced hickory smoked ham. Now you can use any type of ham you want. I got it very thinly sliced, and I'm just going to layer it. Just put it however you want. This is about between a pound and a half, depending on how stuffed you like your pie. This is so fabulous for, like, you know, a barbecue outside, or appetizers inside, or a brunch, or a light dinner with a salad. Yum, yum. So you want a little bit of a smoke, so that's just why I got a hickory smoked ham. And taste it before you buy it. See if you like it. Black Forest would work nicely as well. All right. That's almost a pound right there. But she's still going. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm still going. Yes. Is a wonderful ham and cheese. You got to have it if it's giant. We're calling it giant for a reason, right? It is giant. Oh, I can smell the hickory. So good. So good. I might even save myself a slice. Make sure you don't get it on that border. Just sort of back up. Okay? You know what? There's only a few slices left. Let's just put them on. So you're just basically putting them on lightly on top, all right? Now, for the piece de resistance, I have smoked Gouda that I have hand shredded. It's delicious. When you smoke cheese and you put it on smoky ham with that figgy jam, ham and jam, it is my jam. It's fabulous. Now this is about 2.5 cups of shredded cheese. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, just a little more cheese. So 2½ cups. If you want to use less of any of this, feel free. But why would you want to? All right, and I just pressed down a little bit. Now I'm going to take my second pie crust. This is the flakiest pie crust ever. And we're going to roll it out a little bit bigger because we want it to fit over that lusciousness. All right, and remember, the key to doing this is a nice floured work surface. Don't be skimpy on the flour because you can always brush it off. I don't know if any of you noticed, but I have my Gigundo brushes today, really big pastry brushes, because this is a giant pie. You could paint a house with these brushes. Now I'm going to roll it out. Remember, a lot of flour, roll a few directions, same direction a few times, then rotate when you roll out your flaky pie crust. And I can see pieces of fat or my butter in there. You got to look up my flakiest pie crust ever. So good. And so great with this beautiful savory pie. Sort of rustic. And you're getting a little exercise too. I can feel my biceps getting a little tired. It's true, I have biceps. I actually have biceps. People say, do you lift weights? And I said, no, but I have a rolling pin. It really works. So start baking pies. Any which way. Make pies. So I'm going to get this more to a round. And I'm going to keep my cake pan ready, my 12-inch diameter cake pan ready so I can measure. And I might even go slightly high, larger in diameter, so maybe 12½. But if you want to make a smaller pie, you can. If you want to make turnovers, you can. You could do like 5-inch in diameter turnovers, whatever you want. I mean, if you think people are going to be fighting over your ham and figgy pie, definitely. Tiny bit more. Tiny bit more. Woo! Look at this gorgeous thing. This beautiful thing. Now, just to be different, I could make some slits in this, but what I'm going to do is take my pastry tip. I just got a nice pastry tip, just plain, and I'm going to use the bottom of it. All right, and I'm just going to go around and make some rounds to give it a nice little steam holes with all that cheese. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So good, so good. And now I'm gonna do my, I have to cut first. So let me cut. Just cut. I'm gonna cut a little bit bigger. Not gonna cut directly on the 12, because I want a little bit of an edge that I'm gonna crimp. And I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do, unless I've overfilled it. If I've overfilled it, then we have other options. So you always have to see how it goes, you know what I mean? All right, remove your extra edges, remove that little piece right there. And then I'm gonna put it in half. If I see some extra flour, brush it off with your giant pastry brush. All right, you should have many sizes. They're so much fun to use. Brush, brush, brush. You want to brush all that flour off, flip it over gently, brush, brush, brush. And then you're going to put the tip of this triangle that I made in the center. You're going to unfold. You're going to unfold, and then we may have to adjust a little. Oh, look at this gorgeous thing. And then you're going to just sort of push, 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 push. And we've egg washed already, right? So we're going to just go under and sort of cement both top and bottom crust all the way around. All right, so do that. And then you can go a little nuts. You can take a fork and you can just sort of push down to make it pretty. Or I'll show you what I'm going to do. And you can do whatever you want. I mean, sky's the limit here. You can actually even add some extra dough and braid it and put it around. I'm going to just push around here. Now I'm going to take my fingers. I'm going to go like that. Can you do that? And then push your finger here. And I'm just going to crimp it and crimp it and crimp it, just like you would a pie. Just like you would a pie. Only this is a giant ham and figgy pie. Giant figgy ham and cheese pie. All right, look at this. is this the pie of all pies, right? And then we're going to egg wash it. Remember, make sure your oven is preheated because you don't want your dough to warm up. And that cheese is going to melt. The ham is going to heat up. You can serve this warm. You can serve this at room temperature. You can serve it cold. And I would serve it with some mustard, like some grainy mustard. Yum, yum, yum. You don't like smoked Gouda? Use any other type of cheese you want. You could use even brie. You could use camembert if you're a cheese snob. You could use whatever you want. All right. Now we're going to egg wash. All right. With my giant brush because we have our giant pie. And you're just going to egg wash all over the top, all over the edges. And I would bake this until you get a nice color on the top. So some ovens are hotter than others. I'd say between maybe 20 and 25 minutes. Sometimes I go a little longer, sometimes I go a little shorter. Depends on maybe what rack you want to put it in the middle rack, but sometimes ovens get a little hotter than others. So use your eyes, all right? Use your eyes. And what's nice is the yolk in this egg will help the browning process. And if you wanted to, although I don't think you need it because there's enough salt in the cheese and the ham, you could put a little sea salt or kosher salt on the top before you bake it, or a little cracked pepper. Yum! Go into the oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Can't wait to see what it looks like. So my giant figgy ham and cheese pie just came out of the oven. Now it did need a few more minutes. So again, go by color. And in the holes, the smoked Gouda started bubbling and bubbling. So that's how you know it's done. Color of nice brown and actually cheese bubbling. Remember, everything inside is fully cooked. So it doesn't matter. It's to your eye, to your taste. And I like it nice and golden brown. So wait till this cools. You really want to eat it lukewarm or cool, or even after it's been refrigerated. It'll cut so much nicer because you don't want that cheese to ooze, or maybe you do. So it depends on what you like in your pies, in your savory pies. I do hope you make this. This is spectacular pie, and use my best flaky pie crust ever. It's absolutely delicious. So become a subscriber, and I'll see you next time.